Guys, everyone who's watching, we have just dropped Dominique's details in. So if you want to find out more information about her business, if you want to chat to her later, they are in the chat. So when I told you to go open that tab so you can start shopping, I hope everyone is now typing in www.hairpopp.com. That's what I want to see from you. That's what I want to see, guys. Dominique, tell us about yourself.
Thank you so much for having me. And before I even start, I just want to say thank you so much for all of your hard work. Jamie is absolutely amazing, and you and Courtney and the rest of the team have been doing an absolute amazing job. And it's nice to see the growth and be a part of it as well. So I'd like to say a big, big, big thank you and well done to you, Courtney, and the rest of the team.
Thank you so much. That means so much.
You're very, very welcome. So I'm Dominique, for those of you that may not already know me, and I'm the founder of an online platform called Popp, which is a marketplace for Black-owned hair care products and accessories for Afro and curly hair. And the reason that I started it is because I wanted to make it easier and more convenient for people to be able to shop online for their natural hair care products, and also with UK quality independent Black-owned brands, because that's really important for me. And one of the reasons I started it actually is, unfortunately, based on Black Lives Matter in 2016. And, you know, I became a lot more conscious about where I was spending my own money, and I actively started to shop within my own community, trying to shop Black wherever, whenever, because I just felt that more of my income needed to be circulated within my community. And by doing it with everything and not just one-off things, it's a really good way of it becoming a lifestyle rather than just a reaction to when, you know, there's a pandemic within our community. So that's the reason why I started it. And there's loads of quality Black-owned hair care brands that unfortunately in the UK don't get the same exposure as American brands, because they don't always have the same kind of budgets. And as you know, lots of Black businesses don't get the same amount of venture capitalist funding as white counterparts, and especially when you add in the fact that it's women, and mainly it's women that are the owners of hair care brands. So there's so many different variables, and I just really wanted to be able to give those quality brands a platform so people can shop for Black hair care products all in one place.
Amazing, amazing. I'm going to go straight in. It's no secret that Black women love to spend on hair and beauty, and the Afro hair care industry itself in the UK is worth an estimated £88 million. But when we look at our high streets, even in areas with strong Black populations, products that are made for us to buy are rarely sold by us. Why is this? Why are there not more Black-owned Black hair shops on the high street?
This is such a good question, and there's so many different reasons why. So one of the reasons is lack of capital. So when you go onto the high street and you see lots of what we typically call Black hair shops, they tend to be owned by Southeast Asian men. And you'll find that if you're on one high street, there'll be a few different hair shops, and you might see the same people in the different ones. And that's because they're all buying together in bulk, and they can afford to distribute it because of that group economics. And that's something that unfortunately we don't have. And one of the reasons why we don't have it is because that community have been dominating the market for so long. It means that when Black people try and get the wholesale prices that the Southeast Asian men do, we can't always access those prices. So they can afford to buy £20,000 worth of just one brand, for example. And then you've still got other brands to be able to buy. So Black-owned businesses don't normally have access to capital to be able to buy in bulk. And even when it's just for their own brand, again, it's not being able to buy in large quantities. So that's one of the reasons why you won't see as many Black-owned hair shops on the high street. And then also, you'll find that a lot of the existing hair shops will price people out. So there's been lots of examples in the UK where there's been a Black-owned hair shop that has started, and the other hair shops will lower their prices until the Black business has been put out of business. And then once they've gone, they'll increase their prices again. But then also within our community, I don't think there's enough group economics. So I actually don't know all of the different hair shops, the physical hair shops, where there's more than one person that are more than one shop that are buying together. So they're buying all of their different products and accessories together and then distributing them equally. So that's one of the reasons why you don't see a lot of that. And also because when it comes to business, I think for Black people it's quite new. Unless you're from like the Caribbean or you're from Africa, where if you've got a business, you just do it. There's not necessarily a structure. So when I spent some time in St. Kitts and Nevis, I was doing a lot of social media engagement and I was doing research and stuff like that. But there was no business incubator. There was no specific person that I could go to and say, how do I start a business? But there were plenty of business owners, but they would be tradespeople, they might be accountants, and they've just been doing it for so long that they don't necessarily have a structure of how to explain it to somebody.
Yeah.
And in the Black culture, especially in the UK, you know, we come from a generation where our parents, grandparents came over here and they worked in particular jobs, especially when you think of like the Windrush generation. So you tend to find a lot within health, within local government, those sorts of jobs. So we're not necessarily accustomed to how to start a business. So we don't have those group economics thinking. We don't necessarily know about the systems and the processes and fulfillments and things like that.
Amazing.
I hope that answers your question.
Oh, like, you more than answered it. You more than answered it. And I think it's a question that I always see come up. Why aren't there more Black-owned hair shops? And I think it's so important that we understand the behind-the-scenes issues that are causing this. So starting and sustaining a business is incredibly difficult anyway, but as Black founders, there are additional layers of complexity. Can you tell us about some of the obstacles that you have had to overcome yourself as a Black business owner?
I think one of the biggest obstacles is always a bit of imposter syndrome. Should I be doing this? Will people